Well, match is ready, folks. I cannot wait to see how this one pans out. It's going to be Shopify Rebellion versus FaZe, with, of course, the wonderful and talented Bravo and Onset.
You're too kind, like, you really are too kind every single time. But it's going to be a great series here, and I think it's a real opportunity here for FaZe. I'm going to talk a lot about FaZe in the build-up to this first game, as we do just take a look at that series layout so we can display it to you at home. But for FaZe, the question coming into this event was always, how close are you to that top 2? Because we've talked about the series that they've had previously. We look at the results of this series, it's usually like a 3-1. Sometimes they go down 3-0, but the games are relatively close. But it never feels like FaZe are close enough to win one of those series. And I think they know that. They came away from Arlington, I think, pretty frustrated about how the big series went for them. This is a chance for them in a big series with Shopify Rebellion coming off the back of a big win against Optic to show that they're not just here to participate in this tournament, that if they can beat Shopify Rebellion, they could show themselves as a potential tournament winner.
Yeah, a lot of talk before this event of FaZe trying to get into kind of these later stages of the tournament. They seem to do so well, not just coasting, but they seem to do so well through the earlier stages of the bracket. But when they find themselves up against not just the big 4, but more so the big 2, right? It used to be that they had battles exchanged evenly with Space Station. However, coming off of a 3-1 victory, they've kind of now entered into, okay, it's really about us and the top 2. Historically this year, they've run into a wall. And as you guys said, I think really correctly, you and Clutch, before the series started, now the question is, can they show that the work has been done?
He's putting down some good shots from distance, and as we leave that, we go back into Oddball, but back to our main stage now, where we do have Shopify versus FaZe Clan here in our winner's semi-final, a spot in the winner's final. For the team who comes out on top here, FaZe Clan find themselves 3 dead, 4 dead off the rim.
Beautifully handled there. Thought Falcated was going to get away with murder, but instead they make sure to clean up the kill in Mangra Pit. They also come away with not just the ball. By the way, they're trying to eagle eye camo hard. See if World 2 can stay alive here. He's able to. And a few points on the board for Shopify as well.
Got that plasma pistol as well, which has become such an influential pickup on the map. Ooh, TriPPPeY gets spied out, but there is that plasma pistol. That makes a difference, allows Royal 2 to get that kill. 2 dead on the side of Shopify Rebellion. But the numbers get a little bit closer. It's actually 1v1 here between Pznguin and LastShot. Pznguin had the shield advantage. But with everybody essentially in the death screen, that ball is not going to be picked up for quite some time. Everyone's still going to be looking for a little bit of control and a few more kills going their way.
Enemy has the ball.
Rubino needs to stay alive here if he can. Frosty picks up both in the back of the base, though. Very nicely done. That will keep 3 dead for FaZe. That's impressive. Ready to play the ball if he needs, and the ball will be played off. 4 dead. We'll see just how quickly Shopify is able to grab.
Enemy has the ball.
Immediately, straight off the spawn. The spawns do come in and around C and long haul, though, which I think maybe caught Shopify a little bit off guard there, considering that was where they picked up the majority of those kills. Obviously, someone was blocking something, which influenced where those players were going to be coming back onto the map for FaZe, and that little pick has now allowed FaZe to move up the map, take down 3 Shopify members themselves, and they have that oddball now in towards the elevator. Suppress cleans up the final player, and as you can see on your player outlines, everybody from FaZe now spawning in and around blue.
Dramatic Spartan audio there. Yeah. If you're listening in a headset, that was a one to remember there, as Cykul will fall eventually. Now camo popping here bottom mid in 4 seconds.
I think we're going to be able to grab it. No one in position from Shopify Rebellion to cut him down. Cykul's going to be able to challenge that, but a couple of players are bottom middle. Royal 2 on the flank. Pznguin changing targets and hitting headshots. LastShot's in front of him as well. Does he want to take the fight? Pznguin does the damage and now moves towards that oddball, using that camo absolutely perfectly alongside the damage from his teammates.
I think if there hadn't been a triple right before, LastShot probably keeps challenging there, but you know in the comms, don't give it to him, don't give it to him, do not give him the overkill. And not only does he not give the over, but he makes sure to stay alive. Eventually, though, take him down by a little bit of a 2v1. That one means 2 dead for FaZe Clan here.
A relatively low-scoring game and round so far between the two teams. That's just because the slays are pretty equal across the board. The one standout so far has been Pznguin. He's 8-3 in this game, suppressed with the majority, I should say all of the objective time so far on the FaZe side. But at 24-25, it's the perfect indication of quite what the difference is between these teams. It's 1 or 2 seconds at this point.
Exactly. Shopify was 3 dead there. Will be an opportunity for FaZe to continue rotating, though they do get cut down at the pass. Kills will be exchanged, but they'll need a little bit more control here. They want to rotate that ball back, and Suppress going to do just that, but pressure's coming. Might have to play ball once again.
We're still a 3v3.
Ball out of bounds.
Pznguin took a bit of damage. That's going to be a really big stick And from what looked like a perilous situation, somehow Suppress comes out. That one with 2. TriPPPeY will find another. Shopify Rebellion find themselves 3 dead.
FaZe also going to have pipes here. They might be able to get shock out of this exchange, which would be a pretty big deal, and I agree. Suppress getting the play ball. Important, however, really it was the double kill fadeaway off the map that really allowed them to now maybe have an opportunity to control from golden pipes.
2 minutes, 19 seconds left in this round as well. It's just so low scoring. Not a huge amount of time for either team to not only get the odd ball in their hands, but you can't make mistakes at this point as well, because that could be the round slipping through your fingers. Falcated being chased down here by Royal 2, using that cover to be a nuisance and get the trade in that position.
Good from Royal 2 there to manage that trade. If you watch that entire exchange, he was the one shot the entire time. He looped back and actually one-upped the ring around the Rosie to get the trade still.
Cykul with that odd ball in his hands. It'll be Shopify who now go into a lead.
Enemy has the ball.
LastShot finds 1, goes for the stick to try and turn a 1 into a 2, but he's going to miss that one. Cykul should be able to clean this kill up, but he's going to leave it to Frosty to do so as he turns his attention back to the objective. And even though Shopify had 2 dead here, it was 2 dead on the FaZe side, and everybody's spawning around the map. So Frosty with his shock rifle and Falcated pushing the pipes. He's going to have a chance to create some space here. Suppressed, gets bodied, gets taken down. Frosty tries to escape, but TriPPPeY is the last player alive. He will fall to Royal 2, so it's all dead here for FaZe Clan, and Shopify with this lead have a chance to hold on, maybe collect a little bit more time.
And as you had mentioned, Mark, it has been a low-scoring game that has continued now. So as a result, at 39-31, there's only 120 left on the game clock. You get the feeling that after a few more rounds of slays, this really could decide it.
Time's still dwindling down, but score's still so close between the two teams. FaZe needs to know that this is one push, one set of kills, and they can take this round away. And it's TriPPPeY actually who has been the front runner in this push. Now he's got the odd ball in his hands. LastShot on your screen has recognized that all of a sudden they've got to chase this ball down. It's going to be FaZe who go into a lead now as we approach the last 60 seconds in this round.
FaZe drops and shoots, as you say, in the lead now. However, they do find 2 falling on the side of Shopify. Momentary 3v2.
They're just looking for kills now. They've got that lead, they've got the objective. Work done. But LastShot will find 1. LastShot will come out of pipes with a double kill. And where's the rest of his team now? It's Royal 2. Who's going to find another one? Falcated last alive. Royal 2 is going to get in and grab that ball and move it away from the player that was remaining from FaZe Clan. He's trapped on the pipes. Royal 2 trying to cross here. And will tie the game up at 43.
However, 2 dead. They do not get the play ball. They were trying to get at least the rotate to back Hydro. Pznguin might be forced to play ball. Actually, he has help from 3 players, so probably will not play ball. Is still off the map. Interesting here. That's going to keep things essentially tied up at 45. Ball is now played with 24 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Frosty has a lot of responsibility here because that ball's going to be spawning in and around the batteries, and everyone from FaZe is going to be pushing towards him. That kill on TriPPPeY might, on Pznguin, might give Shopify the opening they require. It's 2 dead on the side of FaZe, but they need to get that ball in their hands here. Frosty has to go for it for himself, but look at TriPPPeY being a nuisance. Royal 2 takes him out. 1 second left to get the ball in their hands. It's 3 dead for FaZe. And even though they cut it about as fine as you can get, it's Shopify who clutch up in those final moments and will take round number 1.
Really, really well done. As you said, they had to get the exact timing on those kills. They're able to pull it off in the end and grab just those last few seconds as they play the ball batteries. The big play there was keeping Suppressed as the last player alive, and then even though he had a minor angle, he was not enough, of course, to take down 3 players. The batteries, Shopify, as you say, will take the round.
Just a second, just a couple of kills between the 2 teams. But is that the classic story of FaZe Clan? Extremely close. Games look close, but can't close out those big moments. Another example of it, unfortunately, for the FaZe Clan.
Enemy has the ball.
See how these things off the opening rip will be exchanged. It will be 2 dead for Shopify. Camo, though, in the hands of Suppressed. We'll see what he can do.
Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball.
Suppressed has an opportunity here to move towards pipes. You know, there's a couple of Shopify players in and around him. That's a nice back smack to take not just a player down, but also the player who had that shock rifle. Now he can collect that
Ball dropped.
from that fallen buddy.
Ball dropped.
And LastShot is now the last alive. He gets one himself, but Pznguin with the ball in his hand. He's going to get early time on the board here for FaZe.
Enemy has the ball. Ball
Press now holding. Don't worry.
has the ball.
Your eyes are not deceiving you. You do not have a scoreboard bottom middle. Getting updates from the team on exactly
Enemy has the ball.
where that score line is. Not appearing here in the UI, but of course still appearing for the players in their POV, so we'll make sure we get you the updates in the best fashion that we can as the game continues.
Ball dropped.
We'll do our best to keep our eyes on who has the odd ball. At the moment, it's all FaZe. FaZe are the only team who have held that odd ball. Is Pznguin, he has it in his hands once again here. We do have the HUD back. Welcome back. You're
Hey, there we go.
very welcomed. As we know, my mathematical
I was wondering what the
history,
score was.
I was moments away from a full-blown panic attack. But we're okay now.
Enemy has the ball.
Suppressed now 18-12 in this game. You'd think with something like that, they might have taken the first round. However, that is not the case.
Ball
As he
dropped.
records his 19th kill.
Ball out of bounds.
But as you saw, that first round going to Shopify Rebellion.
55 points on the board now for FaZe Clan. They're over halfway there to getting this round on the board.
Has the ball. Ball dropped.
But it's Shopify now who finally get the ball back to somewhat
Oh,
of a safe-looking position. Royal 2 with the camo off the back of the shock rifle headshot. FaZe down 2. Make that 3 as Cykul finds the 3rd. And everybody else is across the map, but Shopify not with their hands on the ball quite yet.
Almost makes the play happen there. Instead, going to get taken down, have to try to rotate. Heavy pressure coming in. And now with the camo, an opportunity. Try to go ahead and push up here to top A. He should be able to clean up this kill on TriPPPeY as well.
He's going to send this one in. Cykul gets there before him. No! Royal 2 again connecting with the head. Has to use that grapple to get away. Now he's going to re-challenge.
Ball dropped.
Ball is still in his teammate's hand. He forces the play ball. Suppressed is reloading. He gets the stick, but it's a killing spree. Coming in from Royal 2, and I'm pretty sure he somehow got another kill on the way to
he really did.
Well, he was even dead.
On the way out. Also might be a Frosty pickup here. Gets one, almost gets two. 2 dead for FaZe. For just a moment, 2 dead for each side, actually. Still 55-15. So still certainly within reason. For FaZe to start to run away with it, but they know that really Shopify's only 1 hold away from getting right back in the round.
Again, the early hold is the difference maker here for FaZe. They had a really good set of setups in and around the pipes when they moved that kind of through pipes towards the long haul, and then eventually ended up playing it at the back of blue. That 55 seconds or so is still on the clock here. That's the difference between the two teams in this round. Lovely shots coming in from Suppressed to deal with Royal 2. He knows there's another player bomb tower, but has to reload for the 2nd time in what feels like a couple of lives for him at just the most inopportune moment. It cost him his life and gives Shopify an opening here.
Frosty may have gotten hit with that impromptu insta at the front of tower to hit mid-bridge, which was pretty impressive. Frosty, as you'd expect, still comes away with the kill in a pretty tricky situation. World 2 gets pinned down bottom middle and relatively scoreless over the last 60 seconds or so as these teams have a little bit of jousting on the map in terms of slays.
Camo goes into the hands of Pznguin. That's good news for FaZe. Power-ups out of the hands of Shopify Rebellion, and when you have this 40-point advantage and you're approaching the last 2 minutes in this game, if you can slay out here, keep Shopify away from this ball, you will send this to a determining 3rd round.
Ball dropped.
Wondering here if we're going to see Pznguin go for the shock. Camo would give him the luxury of a quick grab if he wanted. Maybe after this kill, no. Instead, just continues slaying and continues wrapping around. Still the same exact score on the board.
It's that plasma pistol as well, and I think he's just thinking this is a more reliable weapon in this pipes area. Someone flies through, you're going to be able to connect with that shot more often than not, and it kind of scares off a lot of players when they know that plasma pistol is there. Shock rifle, yes, going to give you great value, but the shot's a little bit tougher to hit in comparison in these close quarters. So this gun you can see on your screen right now, Royal 2 knows that himself. He knows if he pushes, he's going to have to do something special. It's a killing spree for Pznguin. The last time we checked the game clock, it was about 2 minutes left. We're approaching the last 60 seconds or so of this round number 2 now.
Yeah, really nicely done there from Pznguin, as you say. Green gun, the maintenance, the control of the camo, holding down the pipes angle. Every piece of that together, and still, FaZe Clan up 55-15. They are playing time here.
Remember though, Shopify Rebellion get their hands on that ball, that game clock will stop. But at the moment, they can't get anywhere near it because they're all in the death screen. 3 of them full. Cykul, last player alive. He's on the stacks, he's already taken damage, has to use the shroud just to survive. And that's another 15 seconds off of the game clock here. Cykul finally will fall as well, so it's a fresh 4 dead here for Shopify Rebellion. And FaZe look like they're about to send this to round number 3.
Yeah, what a play call so early on to be playing this for minutes of slaying here. They knew they could just simply hold down golden pipes, and that's exactly what they've been doing. Now really it's going to be all eyes on camo here.
Can Shopify make a break here? Can they make a play to get that odd ball in their hands? Remember, it was just a second that separated the 2 teams in round number 1, but the early hold from FaZe Clan. It's still the difference between these two teams is going to be Frosty, who does get that ball in his hands, but look at this flank coming in. Look at the pressure on the oddball. He's trying to deal with Frosty. Frosty being a nuisance. TriPPPeY does take him down. That's the player closest to that oddball. It's a couple of ghost ledges as well, but it's enough to buy the time for FaZe to win the round, and we are going to a deciding round number 3. Now, let's talk about FaZe again. These are the rounds they need to win, Andy. These are the ones that I think that between the events, they would have been so frustrated having got into these kind of positions to keep it close that they let slip through their fingers.
2 dead right away off the opening here for FaZe. Now we'll see if they can keep it up. Talk about great game management, right? I think FaZe deserves a lot of credit there. That's really an extended period of slaying and control and quite a specific play call that not a lot of teams would make. See if they can repeat here, make the series a lot more interesting than many people may have expected.
Falcated was uniquely not positive in this game so far. He's only just negative. It's not like it's an outstanding stat in the negative kind of explanation of it, but it's still somewhat surprising to see this man who is so good at making sure that his KD is on the right side of 0. If they come out of this with a win, he will not care whatsoever about how many kills and deaths we're talking about at the end of this game. This should be an easy one for him to clean up onto Royal 2. That's exactly what does happen. And again, it's faced with this early hold. But finally, it's going to be broken.
Yeah, finally taken down there. Will be 3 dead for FaZe. So this will be an opportunity for an extended hold, potentially. Shock is still up. See if Frosty decides to drop.
He's tempted.
Might drop this for a teammate. We'll have to see exactly how this plays out. Right now, he's just playing UAV info for the entire team, seeing where they might be coming from, and it nicely dodges those grenades. And a little bit of a minor lead here early on for Shopify.
Nice little bit of teamwork there. You can see the damage was very comfortable to clean up, and it's Cykul now who's starting to announce himself in this game. He picks up 1, and then he hits the perfect on Pznguin as well. It's 4 dead for FaZe, and this is guaranteed time here for Shopify Rebellion as they rotate. Or try, I should say, and rotate away from the spawners.
It was 4 dead.
Wow. But instead, it looks like Frosty just kind of miscalculated the G-slide across the turbine, and that's allowed FaZe to put some pressure on.
1v1 on the map for just a second here. It was a Pznguin versus Royal 2, and he'll win it. Now spawners coming into the play and the fray as well. That was 3 dead for Shopify momentarily. We'll see if FaZe can get more time on the board.
Suppressed will just trade here in and around blue. Beat down the stick going to be the reasons for that. Falcated steals that ball away towards the through the turbine, excuse me, towards Pipes. And look at the setup now. Look at the perimeter that FaZe have. They're a little bit trapped here at Pipes, but they were all close enough to get into a position to ensure some trades. 2 players still left alive. Now just the 1. Falcated will be the last alive with the grapple. Cykul will get the angle, get the jump on him, and Shopify will get that ball back in their hands. LastShot, who has his hands on that objective.
It was a stacked 3 dead here, and now it's 2 dead again for FaZe. So the timing is not on their side, and Shopify has done so well to keep them on a really disadvantageous spawn cycle. However, good damage might give them a little bit of an opportunity to make the trek across the map. They do get the first pick on Royal 2.
Good damage again coming in here from Cykul. No kills to report, but 2 players' shields broken, but great teamwork to isolate him from the side of FaZe. It's going to be 2 dead for Shopify Rebellion here, and Pznguin's got that ball back in his hand, so FaZe will be scoring. And if they can deal with Frosty, find a couple more kills, then we will find ourselves essentially at a tie game here. Suppress is going to find the first pick on Royal 2. TriPPPeY's going to fly in to try and deal with Frosty, but Frosty is such a problem. It's 2 of them trying to kill him, and they just can't simply flush Frosty out here from Bolt Blue. He's still alive in this situation, still comes out of a trade. It's 3 dead for FaZe.
4 dead for FaZe.
And Frosty just being such a frustrating kill to try and pick up.
2 dead here. We'll see if Royal 2 should not be forced to play. I think this is just being a cautious moment in case the grenades came in. Now here finally comes Pznguin. Now he's a little bit of a fake out there. And a little bit trolling because that ball is finally going to be played off the map. And it was just a 10-point game, but with that swing, it now becomes a 20-point game.
This is the kind of cushion that Shopify love to play with as well. Knowing that they don't have to worry about that objective, they can just play for the kills, play for that slay, keep their opponents off the ball. But look at Falcated starting to come to life a little bit here. 25 and 23 now, picking up some important kills as Shopify find themselves 2 dead, and he gets that next camo. So this is a chance for FaZe to flip this lead.
Also make sure to not take damage there from Whirlpool. As you say, a very big moment here. And if they can use this camo to ensure they get the first damage and the first pick, this grapple's going to be a big factor as well. Wow, shots. could see a lead change coming here, essentially tied up at 46.
Ball drop. Enemy has the ball.
And we'll go into a 1-point advantage. FaZe will take the lead now. Falcated recognizes where the pressure's coming in from the comms from his teammates, moves towards the long haul, finds LastShot. He's going to chase him down here. He wants to put him in the death screen. And will indeed do exactly that. It's 2v2 on the map at the moment. Now he's trying to cut middle map. Does he get the timing on this player bottom tower? Almost managed to. Cykul did a pretty good job there of actually just checking before he crossed the road. But it's Shopify who somehow or other, from all of this, have got the ball back to Elevator.
Yeah, Falcated, he gets away, but going blue pipes costs a lot of time. Killing spree for him. We'll see if he can pick up even more kills on the push and the collapse. So far, it's working out.
And now he's on the pitch. Look at this. Royal 2 has to go for the double melee. LastShot's last alive on the Shopify side. He'll go down as well. And a chance now for FaZe to move that ball back towards the Elevator. Spawns from Shopify Rebellion are in and around the long haul, and they're going to have to make a trek to get near this oddball.
20 seconds on the camo as well. It's going to be a big factor here in the late game. And with a score of 67 to 55 in favor of FaZe, you got to think that camo could really decide which team is able to establish a gap here.
And there's a standout stat in this lobby right now, and that is Pznguin. He's just broken 40 kills in the lobby. Suppressed is just behind him on 39. No one on the Shopify Rebellion side has broken 30 as yet, so Suppressed and Pznguin are doing some heavy slaying here on the side of FaZe.
Pznguin also with 21 assists, more than anyone else on Shopify, while leading the entire lobby in kills. Unbelievable for him so far, but still work to do before they close it out.
Frosty has the camo here. Suppressed has found 2 though on the side of FaZe, and Frosty finds himself as last alive. And even though you got the camo, there's not much you can do in this situation. And look at that game clock. Look at the time that FaZe are starting to put on the board here. Pznguin knows there's one player missing. He might be thinking play ball, he might be thinking trade. He gets the trade instead. TriPPPeY will find one. Falcated gets into a position to grab the ball and get it off the map as last alive. It's 4 dead here for FaZe, but has the damage been done?
Royal 2 now, very important responsibility here. It's going to go ahead and grapple the ball. He also has shock, so he wants help right away from a teammate. They're going to drop, but they're going to also want every second that they can. So they make sure to grab right away. All 8 players up. Keep an eye on the kill feed. Let's see if Shopify can hold.
These are the moments where FaZe are going to be tested, but it's 3 dead on the side of FaZe. The last player alive is going to be Falcated. Royal 2's found him. Royal 2 sniffed him out. He's grappling in to try and finish off this kill. He will be able to do so, and for FaZe, this is a scary moment. Shopify have that ball in their hands, even though they're just 7 points away here. Royal 2 is controlling the pipes. He's controlling gold. And FaZe cannot pass.
Oh my gosh, Royal 2 just dipping in between shots. Somehow keeps his shield this entire time. Still 2 dead for FaZe. Look at the comeback here.
Royal 2 just commanding. So many kills at the moment, so much damage coming out of this shock rifle. Finally, it's going to be taken down. FaZe will be 2 dead, but the ball time is still going the way of Shopify Rebellion.
They've stacked 2 dead for the last 60+ seconds. Unbelievable timing here. FaZe committed everything to that long haul push. It was an all-in play, and it was risky. They take the lead. 4 seconds to go.
I don't think FaZe are close enough to get this, and it's going to be Shopify Rebellion who ice up in the final moments and steal the game away from FaZe. It just feels like history repeats itself again for FaZe. They're in a great position, a game-winning position, but somehow snatch a loss away from the jaws of victory.
And had a 20-point lead as well in the late game. But it was huge plays from Royal 2. The peak shotting with the shock at Gold Stairs with his shield management perfectly, just winning peak battles to maintain shields the entire time. And in that third-person view of Royal 2's POV, we saw all 3 players coming in from FaZe. That's not an easy push when you have to sneak everyone through long and hope that you're winning battles at glass and long haul. Those are difficult battles to win, and they don't win them. Look at the kills on the board in the end. Look how heavily FaZe outslayed.
Oh, out-damaged as well.
And out-damaged and outscored. Yet, in terms of rounds, it's Shopify that steals the game.
Talk about Halo a bit, about moments. Comes down to those moments, and even though the man on your screen, Pznguin, drops huge statistics, Suppressed drops huge statistics, they outslay their opponents. It all comes down to round 3, final moment, and a final hold from Shopify Rebellion, where FaZe just fell over like a pack of cards, it felt like. You saw that they were trying to push through towards gold, to break through gold, but it felt like they were just all looking at different things.
They were, yeah.
And Royal 2 hits a couple of nice shots, but they're not headshots, they're damaging shots. But then when he re-peaks, it's like everyone just forgot he existed.
I agree. I think there was definitely a breakdown in communication or decision-making in terms of making sure that Royal 2 had to be the priority there. You got to kill, first of all, you have to kill Royal 2 in that position. You especially have to kill Royal 2 with the shock in that position. And I agree, it looked too easy where he was able to then start peeking every angle he wanted to. And I think maybe some assumptions on the side of FaZe that another player was prioritizing that kill. It wasn't the case in the end.
It'd be interesting to go back and listen to the comms of this moment. This is the moment. I mean,
look at this.
The peak comes in here. He knows he's under pressure here, Royal 2. TriPPPeY tries to challenge. Understandably, he knows he's got the shock here. There might be 2 players for him to try and deal with, yes. But then Foul, he's not looking. LastShot, of course, he's taking that battle across the map. But surely as a 4, as a 3, you have to try and force your way in to pipes here. Don't worry about the damage battle. Worry about getting near that oddball. And unfortunately for FaZe, it's Shopify who you have to give a huge amount of credit to with the way that they did hold. But I'm sure if FaZe watch that one back, they'll be disappointed with how those final moments went.
Certainly, and it felt like, to be honest, in the mid-game, I was really curious. It felt like FaZe was going to run away with that. Or excuse me, the mid-game of round 3 specifically. And you saw FaZe get all the way to the 93-point mark, and they could not close the game out. I think you summed it up perfectly, Mark. It has pretty much summarized the beginning half of this season so far. So close against the top 2 seeds, unable to do it. However, there's a lot more Halo to play in this series. Next up, it's Slayer Aquarius.
Take a look at some of the Slayer stats of these teams then. 4-1, the record here in Dallas for Shopify Rebellion. 2 of those, remember, against Optic Gaming as well. Those wins, I should say. On the other side, FaZe Clan 3-1, maybe not a similar caliber of opponents. They did, of course, have to play Space Station, so take what you will from that. But the average margin of victory, very, very impressive on the side of FaZe. If you're winning by, we say, what, more than 5?
Yeah.
At this level, at this point in the tournament, we usually say that's a pretty convincing victory. Fight, beat up your younger brother. Anyway. Slayer Aquarius then, game number 2. It is the younger brother who's having the spoils going his way after game number 1, as it will be Shopify Rebellion finding themselves 1-up in this series. But Aquarius Slayer, a chance here for FaZe, who have a very good Slayer record here in Dallas at DreamHack to maybe tie this up.
I love how the importance of Slayers and the fact that they're so important here at this level of Halo Infinite just has really upped the ante of how hard you have to work in your Slayer prep. And we've already talked about how much Shopify has been doing it, but now FaZe is about to give them a whole new test. As we said, this is not a matchup we've been privy to that much this season. 3 dead off the rip for both sides.
Big push coming in though, top middle. It's going to be 3 dead for FaZe Clan once again, and that is going to allow Suppressor's last player alive actually just to sneak through and grab this first camo. Frosty's trying to hunt him down. He knows where he is, but he's going to have to deal with a couple more players pushing the pink side. From FaZe, it's going to be Pznguin who does take him down. So a narrow lead, but a lead and camo off the rip here for FaZe Clan.
You get the feeling with each camo, they need to make sure they're maximizing here. If either team is able to shut down camos, it could be a really big deciding factor in the way that this one goes. Trying to find what he can on the map. However, here he loses 2 teammates.
Does manage to turn 2 kills himself and play off that damage. Such an important thing to do. And he might be able to turn a triple here, but no. Royal 2 just had the advantage when it came to initial damage to win that fight without being traded. A couple more kills go the way of FaZe, though. After Shopify Rebellion get a couple of their own. Still just a 1 kill difference between the 2. Suppressed will find the pick onto Frosty as TriPPPeY goes hunting down to P1.
Trying to keep Pznguin alive, and going to be able to do so as well. Pznguin's also got the green gun to take into the next battle. Kills being exchanged here right at the 10 kill mark early on, but 3 will fall for Shopify.
Last player's in front of him as well. Frosty does somehow win the fight, even though TriPPPeY had the thrust, so that's incredibly impressive stuff from Frosty to win that individual fight. A little bit of a frustrating one, I imagine, for TriPPPeY. But it's going to be Pznguin who does manage to clean up the damage and keep FaZe in this lead. A 3-kill advantage for them at the moment.
If you're FaZe here, you really just want to make sure you maintain this. Don't let him back in the game. Good trade once again. It's moments like that that we're talking about. Anytime you could see a 1v2 trade at this level of competitive Halo, a lot of work has to be done to still eke out those kills. And as we said, it will maintain the 4-kill lead for FaZe Clan.
Ammo up then. Cykul's top middle here for Shopify Rebellion, but forced down to the low ground as Falcated is holding this window. Making sure that not only can he look at Suppressed and try and keep him alive, that he keeps Shopify Rebellion off of this power-up. A little bit of a trade. As we have a 2-for-2 split on the map at the moment. 2 players from either side currently in the respawn screen. Frosty finds one onto Pznguin. See, the Falcade wants something to play towards top middle for this camo, but he also knows that there's a lot of players still alive, and he can't overcommit due to the numbers that Shopify Rebellion have on the map.
I also think he bonked his head, and I think he would have had Camo a long time ago had he not bonked his head. LastShot instead gets the burn on Camo, so still just a 5-kill lead for FaZe Clan.
4-3 for Foul to start this one. Pznguin again, 8-5 for him. He's had a great couple of games to start this off. Well, certainly a good game number one, even though it was on the losing side. He's looking to continue here, almost double positive in this second game. FaZe with a pretty solid lead at this point in the game.
Yeah, maintaining and holding so far. They outslayed in the objective game. Despite the loss, they're still outslaying here on the Slayer, and it's paying off. Let's get into a listening with FaZe Clan.
One shot blue shroom, going up, one shot.
I'm looking at Peter, Mike. I'm looking at Peter. Out now, Mike. Weak on you.
R2.
Jen, yo, first week. I'm turning around.
On me weak.
Nice, Mike.
Holy fuck.
Two shot. And then
Blue Jen and Car2, guys.
R2 weak on the name. R2 and Car1.
weak. Go two.
Going front blue, one shot. Nice, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
See that?
Yellow jump, go bottom mid. We went bottom mid to blue, probably.
Shot bottom mid, going front. Yep, blue, one shot. Blue, one shot.
I'm getting out to peek. Can someone come peek? Someone come peek?
Game off 15.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. Yeah, P2 on the
You want yellow jump and non nades.
R1.
Yellow P jump.
Came on 10. Came on 10.
P2, I think.
Where's he going?
Holy shit, Mike.
P2 on me, one shot. P2, one shot. Frosty.
Yeah, I hear that.
One shot blue P street, one shot blue P street.
Yep, he's gonna-
Go in, P1 blue. 2 blue P street. 3 there, Mike.
Look at the street.
Three on Mike.
Watch out, bridge, watch out.
3 there, Mike. 3 there.
Ready. I'm still fighting this.
Come on soon. I'm coming P.
Wow, I don't know where it died to. Yo, Car2, guys, Car2. Yo,
Give him one
Car2,
shot,
guys,
give him one
on
shot.
camo. On camo, guys. He has it going front blue, or Car3 with it. Sitting Car3 with camo, guys. He's R3.
R2, yeah.
Come here.
Yeah, red P1? Red P1 stream?
Never saw
Yeah,
him.
red.
P2 weak, guys. P2 weak. 2 shot. One shot P2. Frosty on the P wall.
Still one shot, P2.
He's one shot blue P street.
I'm not dead. Camo P2 as well.
Alright, take your time. We're up by 2.
Yeah. Just
Yo, Camo P2. Alright, let's try to separate name.
One guy was blue P. I'm hiding blue
Work
down.
together,
I'm hiding blue
work
down.
together a little bit.
Yeah.
I go R2, okay.
Probably car 2.
Yeah,
Watch the
spawn
vent.
blue,
Watch the
spawn
vent.
blue,
Watch the
guys, spawn
vent.
blue.
Get up top, Donnie.
On Donnie.
Get up top, Donnie.
Top mid, 4-2. One shot.
Ghost is up as well.
Look at me. They know I'm here.
Yo, top mid.
Blue on me, blue on me.
Yo, one guy coming car now. Coming car now. 2 shot car 2.
Yo, blue 2. Frosty.
Another one, car.
Hey, blue 2. Oh, blue window. Mike. Watch out. Yeah, all you.
All you.
Well, Foul gets one, but you can see that the lead has now changed. It's because FaZe just got a little bit stuck on the spawn there. 3 or 4 of them all trapped in and around the gen, and the collapse came in from Shopify Rebellion, and it was executed so well.
5-kill lead, they're just completely blown during that listening. As you said, Shopify just wants... Melee does not connect with World 2 there, so in the end, FaZe will go into a narrow lead now, back and forth here, and this is really your home stretch. Really cannot afford any mistakes from here on out. Only 14 kills to go for FaZe.
Similar position here for FaZe, up by 3. Element of control, done a lot of the hard work, but no games of Halo have ever been won before you see that victory screen popping up. There's still work to do for them. 2 dead on either side at the moment. 3 kills the advantage. Might be a little bit more if Suppress can find Royal 2, and that's exactly what he does right now. Pressure from the pink tower. But Suppress trying to play his life here. There's a lot of Shopify players around. He's going to take the 1v1 with Cykul, and that could be huge for what way this game swings.
Yeah, huge play from him, as you say. Enormous little 1v1 to keep them now up by 3. It's not done yet. Still a lot of work to go in the final kills here on the 40s now as they extend their lead just narrowly to 4.
2 finds 1. Foul's got to be careful. He's down to no shields. He could be falling as well, but Suppressed out of nowhere keeps his teammate alive.
Suppress probably going to want to flush this one out. We'll see if he instead backs down. He's going to try to fly in for the kill. Should be an easy finish, and it is indeed now. 45-40. FaZe Clan with a comfortable cushion at 46.
Very, very comfortable for FaZe Clan at this point. Just close it out. That's what they'll be saying to each other, and I'm sure that Royal One stood behind them will be saying something very similar as well. Nothing silly. Keep it simple. Find our trades and find ourselves tied up at 1-1. TriPPPeY should get away with this camo as well, and that could be the final nail in the Shopify coffin in this game number 2.
Really well done. Like you said, he can now just push in with the team and get these last few kills here on the pink side. 49 on the board.
Frosty could be the last kill, but instead Royal 2 is going to find himself taken down to no shields. Still some camo to play with here for TriPPPeY. Still playing this smart. Not overextending, knowing that damage is enough to get the 50th. And the melee will cement it. Finishing with a killing spree here, TriPPPeY. And FaZe close out to tie us up at 1-1.
And if you thought this was going to be an easy series for Shopify, think again. They take game number 1 despite being outslayed. However, it's FaZe that was tested time and time again in that specific game. I'm impressed there with the Slayer resilience of FaZe because there were several moments where they were blowing 5 or 6 kill leads that maintained the mental composure maintain map presence and control the angles that they needed to, and they continually extended that lead. You had the feeling that when it went from 36 to 30, all the way to 38-38, that maybe they would fold a bit. It was not the case, and instead, as we talked about before the series, FaZe now looking to remind everyone that there's a full season of Halo ahead, and they are a force to be reckoned with.
It's a really good point that you make. It was someone I was trying to kind of highlight in that game itself. It's like similar situation to what we saw in that game number 1, where it felt like FaZe are in control, but the score was close enough that it's the kind of game we've seen FaZe let slip through their fingers. But I think it's a really important win that for them. Not just the fact that they win the game, because if they win 50-49, they're probably thinking, oh, we just about did it again. But it's an element of control, and I think just being reserved enough to not give Shopify a way back into that game. To win by 7 is a convincing scoreline for them, where they close out the final moments and they just don't give Shopify a way back into that game.
I agree. I think both the scoreline and the way they did it are convincing. The fact that it wasn't even just one wobble where they let the game get tied. It was twice where they had to then fight off spawn. They had to also mentally deal with, okay, we just had a 6-kill lead that we just blew. Instead, these guys are veterans. They've been here before many times, and they're able to close out the game with a very convincing scoreline of 50-43. And just like that, we're tied 1-1. I think a lot of people are thinking, oh man, maybe FaZe is here to play. We'll take a look at some highlights from that game number 2.
Let's see, the Slayer is going to be a difference maker here as we head towards game number 3. Like you say, here is some of the highlights. It was a really, really solid start from Pznguin as well in that game, 8-5 at this point. I just want to kind of give a little shout out to Royal One as well. We went to that listening. You know, this FaZe team, not the most animated when it comes to comms. Certain personalities maybe don't have that natural energy to them, but when you hear Royal One in the comms just kind of going, holy shit, like those kind of things, those little kind of conversations, those little bursts of energy just to reinvigorate the team. I think he had some really interesting dynamics with the team.
I agree. Suppress you're seeing on screen here with several. TriPPPeY, by the way, just cool, calm, and collected, patient with the camo to get the 50th, but I love what I saw from Suppress. There's a few key battles there. First of all, taking that Cykul 1v1, front base to Fridge. Not an easy battle to win. He takes it. If he doesn't win that battle, the game is 39-37. Instead, it's 40-36, and they continue the control. He also then pushes on the Fridge kill. A lot of players who maybe are not as confident or experienced might leave that Fridge player and circle back with the team. Instead, he pushes into Fridge. He gets the kill and does not trade. And it's stacking moments like that where they're able to then close the game out convincingly and tie the series up 1-1.
Well, as we head into King of the Hill live fire now, we mentioned how FaZe in this series, a lot of these game types start to favor them with the records that they do have. And remember that it's going to be something that has to, it's a small data pool so far, right? But this is the Dallas event that we're at right now. Either team had lost that game type before then. Now we find ourselves in game number 3, and of course this hasn't been updated as yet from what we've seen so far in this particular series. But live fire King of the Hill, 2-0 and a 1-2 record for Shopify Rebellion. Then we have a similar record, well, exactly the same record, and then we get to that game 5 should we get there. So this game, if FaZe want to win this series, they're going to feel very, very confident and have to take this one home.
Exactly. I think a lot of Shopify fans, or just League fans, might not have expected that this is exactly where we would be at this moment in the series. Nor, I don't think anyone would have bet on FaZe outslaying that heavily in game number 1, regardless of the result.
I agree with you. I think that was a big statement.
It was indeed. And now to see that King of the Hill live fire record, I think everyone at home and everyone here in the arena is thinking, okay, this is getting a little bit spicy. Let me get out my popcorn with the buttermilk ranch flavor seasoning.
Which we have been ingesting for quite some time
I've got right here, right now, and I'm excited, so I suggest everyone get theirs as well. Get ready to get into our next game. It's going to be King of the Hill live fire. Shopify and FaZe Clan across the venue are tied up at 1-1.
One thing I think we can guarantee, we're probably breaking viewership records for the D stream with that game on. But back to a business on our main stage. Like you say, King of the Hill is where we find ourselves, and live fire is going to be the map, and this is a map mode combination here in Dallas that has favored FaZe Clan. So this is a big chance for them when they look at the game types, when they look at the records, the comparative records between the two teams. It doesn't get much of a better chance for FaZe to come out on top in this big series against Shopify.
What an opening here. TriPPPeY is actually your last player alive. He's going to have to fight from sandbags alone and presumably going to be swarmed. And that's exactly the case. It was 4 dead off the opening. It's a perfect start for Shopify Rebellion.
Now going to get some time as well. No hesitation to step inside of that first hill in and around green. Gonna be able to pick up the camo as well, and you heard it from Frosty when we had him on the couch a little bit earlier in the interview saying this map is all about snipes, it's all about camo. Do everything we can. That was our plan, to make sure that they are in our possessions. And now LastShot, he's got both.
This man we said was so calm with the camo on that Solitude game, and paid off, and now they maintain the slaying advantage as well. It's still 2 dead. LastShot still was sniping camo in hand. And you know he got that call out, hits the 180, and makes sure he's there for the teammate.
Look at this target prioritization from him. So many people would have been stuck on that first kill on the pillars. He recognizes he can turn away and influence another fight. This is why his damage stats are so outstanding when we get to the end of the series.
Do fall though. Pressure is coming in. Gonna try to spike out the back of the base as long as he can. Eventually he'll be taken down in B, but I could not agree more. You can tell based on the way he's whipping that those are callouts coming in, and he's responding immediately, and that's how he racks up the numbers that he does.
Well, FaZe have managed to break, even though they've got 2 players in the death screen, and now it's 3. They did force Shopify out of the hill for a few moments there and made this a little bit more competitive, but the push comes in from Shopify. Cykul has recognized the dummy spawns as well. Maybe just over-challenged a little bit there. Maybe he's just trying to buy the window of opportunity and timing to let LastShot cap this. That's exactly what does happen. So it might seem like an over-challenge from Cykul, but the bigger picture, not the worst play in the world.
Right, I love that. Just sitting there, as you say, on C, he knew that the most important thing was buying just 1 extra second or 2 for the Nest Bridge push. If he could delay that by just 1 second, it would secure the cap. That's exactly what it does. Shopify takes the first hill of the game.
3 dead here as well. TriPPPeY last alive on the tower. Did he stick Cykul there? No, but he's done enough damage to make this surely a kill he can convert, but okay, he's going to steal that one away. TriPPPeY doing a really good job as last alive here, actually, to keep Shopify at bay from winning this rotate.
LastShot gets the camo and even deals a little bit of damage there on the way out to keep TriPPPeY no shields, and also going to catch Suppressed off guard now. Perfect kill comes in, and now Falcated knows he has to back up because that's not an easy battle to win.
Half of the hill has been captured already, though, by FaZe. These kills are good, but they still have to progress towards where this hill is being held down by FaZe. Pznguin's trying to play a sneaky corner. Good damage coming in from a combination of players here. LastShot and Frosty making sure that he gets taken down. And now, TriPPPeY, who's been on this tower for quite some time, is finally evicted. As LastShot uses his camo, and Shopify will finally force FaZe away from this hill.
It was a 2v2 though. You see Royal2 and Cykul just fell as well. So that leaves an opening now. A little bit of chaos here on C plat. We'll see which team's able to get it in this 2v2.
Cykul looking over Frosty, who's no shields. Damage comes in.
Oh my.
Cykul just turns around and dismisses TriPPPeY.
You already felt like that was going to happen there. That he was going to peek that corner again. That's exactly what he does. And now Shopify will start scoring here on this hill. And like you said, they've trailed by about half of the hill, but they're starting to put the work in and the time in to come back on hill number 2.
Doesn't quite connect with that one. Turns his attention towards Suppress, trying to keep Frosty alive in this situation. Frosty will fall though. Perfect shots again in the kill feed. Cykul turns his back, finds one, bodies Falcated as well. It's big damage output here from Cykul. Even though he's not connecting with the headshots, the bodies are good enough.
Getting pressured from Nest side there. Did a lot of damage, as you said, but still not enough presence. Suppressed, if he can stay alive here, this would be big. My, what a nade from Frosty. He's going to push on TriPPPeY as well. TriPPPeY hits the shot, and Pznguin gets a kill. So now 3 dead for Shopify. FaZe might close it out here and now and tie the game.
I think the Shopify are going to give this one up just from the routing that you saw from Royal2 there. He steps away towards green, wants to try and push that out so that they can set up in and around house and garage, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But FaZe are going to say, you've got to come to us still.
For a second. Bait only for a second, to be honest. I agree, because Shopify took that routing. They maybe could have baited even longer, but they don't need to. 3 dead for Shopify, again off the push. FaZe Clan ties the game, and now in a momentary 1v1, TriPPPeY will be your first man in the hill.
It's only a second of delay, but it was enough for Pznguin to get the first pick. And that means that now FaZe can move freely across the map and worry about creating scenarios where they can win 2v1s. There's a 2v1 available for a few seconds. They get the clean wipe, and now they win the rotate as well. Camo is coming up as well. As we see Royal2 in a position now, so for all the good work that FaZe did, they're going to be 4 dead. Camo goes to Shopify Rebellion. Royal2 now can go to work.
Shopify did so well. By the way, look how early Royal2 got to camo. That's not something a team does every time. He gets there with 9 seconds remaining, so he had to dodge a few spikes. However, the team really sets up there around him, and he does come. TriPPPeY's about to eagle eye this camo out. Royal2 stays alive. LastShot comes in to save the day.
So patient. So many players in that situation would have tried to challenge TriPPPeY. thinking that they were going to die anyway, but he knew that he had an opportunity, and now he moves in to look for a double kill, but misses the beatdown.
Big shutdown from Suppressed. This could have been a secured hill right away. LastShot, what a clean set of shots on the TriPPPeY on Kedor. Now keeps 2 dead for FaZe. LastShot thinking about getting a little bit more time here as well.
And just keeps dipping his toes in, keeps forcing FaZe to come towards him. Falcated gets a pick on the Royal 2 though, so this is looking like he's going to have to turn his attention from stepping inside of the hill and put his team 2-1 up to just surviving here. He's not going to be able to. FaZe make a break late in this this third hill, where the second points could be secured to either side.
I'll tell you what, based on our POV, it looked like they had the time. They must have had info that indicated that they were folding earlier at the mid-map, and LastShot doesn't go for what felt like it could have been a window to finish the hill, but here comes FaZe.
2 dead for Shopify Rebellion. Sniper rifle in the hands of TriPPPeY. But do Shopify want to try and force this one? They do have time to get 4 on the map and formulate a push. There's a QT down as well, but the body is going to stagger this push now.
This is down to the wire.
TriPPPeY can't connect. Suppress finds one though. The QT in, he does body Frosty though, and that could be so important. But Cykul now in a 1v1, it's a Pznguin versus it's Pznguin who slides in and steals the hill away here for FaZe. They're up 2-1.
Man, all 8 players alive on that map on that last push. That was absolutely wild. We're gonna have to go back and watch exactly what the play call would have been from the side of Shopify. It might have been as simple as LastShot sitting scoreboard and didn't want to get pushed by a camo player and realized that maybe they could wrap concrete to bags, which I think is potential there on the player, maybe just maintain big door presence. Instead though, they pay the price. They give up the hill. They get outslayed. 3 dead, however, off the break, but still, it's FaZe Clan with a really good window. Kind of A-plat management. Gets dicey there. Essentially in a 1v1, they get the second hill. They now lead the game.
Camo coming up as well in a few seconds' time, and even though Shopify set up in and around mud here, a pickup of the camo and a sniper rifle could turn that around. TriPPPeY gets the kill onto Royal 2. This is the opening that FaZe would have been looking for. Pznguin finds another as well. Cykul on the flank gets pushed back by TriPPPeY, and TriPPPeY, by sending the grenade back as well, gets the kill. FaZe are in control, and FaZe have the camo.
That frag repulse was a dangerous combo, just pins him up against the green wall, and it works out. Frosty gets spotted out there, so we can't make too much happen. 3v3 on the map.
Looking across the stats, Pznguin again, leading the way with kills. TriPPPeY just behind him, 13 apiece. One less death for TriPPPeY in that situation. Royal 2 trying to back off the push here. Cykul has already fallen. Damage output pretty good from Royal 2, but you can see the pressure he's under to try and survive here. Suppressed, flanks through on the tower. LastShot is alive on the tower, but Falcated in a position here inside of this hill to try and support his teammate. Suppressed gets that kill on the tower. And now you can see the Shopify is staggered. They're already 2 dead, and FaZe have control again.
Good damage again from Fal to make sure that the kill could be cleaned up by TriPPPeY at B. As you said, that will stagger and keep the spawn stagger, and this is a big time here with only 70 seconds left as well.
Cykul down. First pick goes to FaZe again. Suppress gets another. It's 3-1 here to FaZe Clan. With just over a minute left on the game clock as well. We are going towards top middle. FaZe not only win the hill, they still have control of the tower side as well. They are set up for success.
And based on the way FaZe has played a few different... Royal 2 stays alive on the camo block once again. He has befriended that time and time again. 2v2 on the map. Sniper in the hand of Suppressed. Make sure to not trade. Very nice play in the end, though. It will be taken down. So still 50 seconds left. And with the way that FaZe has played other game types in this series, especially the ball, you can expect them to certainly play time for a lot of reasons here.
TriPPPeY takes to the sky and managed to escape as well. Pznguin breaks the shields. LastShot gets the kill, but time is a factor here for FaZe. 1 death on either side at the moment. TriPPPeY still has this snipe. He should be able to get this melee. It's going to be Suppressed who gets it before he does. LastShot gets the stick. And it's going to be FaZe actually who step inside of this hill.
Fal tries to keep him alive, but can't. And now with 35 seconds left, FaZe has done well to really just keep this thing scrappy top mid. That's exactly what they want to do. Even though they're not necessarily pinching the spawns, they're keeping things dicey.
Oh, Frosty has snipe, but he's going down as well. Falcated taken down by LastShot, but these kills need to turn into time. And I think the time is heavily against Shopify Rebellion here. We are about to see FaZe Clan go up 2-1 in this series. Even with LastShot getting this camo, it's going to have to be a monumental effort, but with Suppressed finding 3, And all four falling, it's going to be FaZe Clan who will go up 2-1 here. They will take Live Fire King of the Hill, and boy, do we have a series on our hands now. FaZe take the lead and are 1 game away from a winners bracket finals.
So much of the sentiment around the top 4 from Halo fans is we just want this to be competitive. We want to see FaZe and SSG pushing the top 2 in SSG and in Optic and Shopify. And FaZe Clan is doing just that, showing up in a huge way in this series. And if you thought this bracket was already turned on its head, just imagine.
I think stream could get even busier.
These stream will get overloaded. Need to plug in a few more servers in the back. FaZe Clan, already you can safely say, with their best performance of the series of the season so far in this series, taking down one of your tournament favorites yet again in this series. Now they lead after a 3-1 comfortable and convincing King of the Hill win. And I look back at that management of the Scoreboard Hill. Ever since then, it was tough. And I want to go back myself and watch that VOD to see exactly what the timing windows were. I think Shopify had it. They give it up, and Penguin steals it.
Suppressed damage output. We always talk about LastShot, but suppressed. Breaking 7K in that game, a difference maker for his team. And now FaZe have to think to themselves to not get carried away in the moment. This is a massive opportunity that does not come around very often. They have a lead in the series with 2 games to go. They need 1 more of the 2 to knock Shopify Rebellion down to that elimination bracket and secure themselves a winners bracket final.
TriPPPeY hitting that shot. TriPPPeY hitting that body shot. It was massive. The Penguin flies in. There were so many individual pieces of that hold at window and scoreboard to get that second hill.
One to go. And Royal One making sure his team know it. The difference that a coach can make sometimes cannot really be explained. It's the intangibles. It's the way that they understand the psychology of the team, the players, what they need to hear, what they don't need to hear, and when they need to have the belief instilled in them in those big moments. He's a man who's coached a lot of teams to world championships, and he might be about to coach FaZe towards a series win here and a winner's final if they can close out. But this next game type, one of the newest game types we have, difficult to decide which way this one goes.
Yeah, this is going to be, I'm really glad this is game 4 because it's going to be a really interesting story. I think you have 2 sides of the coin. On the Shopify side, we've seen them just so heavily outslay on this game type, right? How often has Royal 2 been in the enemy spiral, right? He has spent a few years in the enemy spiral at this stage, whereas you have FaZe, who has so far outslayed every game in the series. And we also know how difficult it is to arm on this map. So this is going to be an absolute bloodbath of just constant controlling one another's base. And whichever team can get even just 1 bomb on the board might be all it takes. It's going to be a fantastic game number 4. FaZe has to be thinking we got to end this here.
Yeah, I think for FaZe, it's a simple thing sometimes to remember that you can say to each other and you keep in the back of your minds. Play to win this game. Don't play to not lose this game. Don't play for the game 5, knowing that you've got a great record there. Close it out here, and when advantages reveal themselves on the map, when you get a couple of kills, when you get an overshield, be aggressive. Get that bomb into Shopify's base, put them under pressure, because they are the team now who is under pressure in this series.
You have to think whoever gets the first arm in this game, it's going to be an enormous time cushion where you can just continue slaying, you can repulse the bomb, you can play the bomb, you can sneak the bomb. It's going to be such an advantage to get that first bomb on the board. And that is what both teams will fight for here. FaZe Clan looking to do the upset. Up 2-1 in the series, 1 game away from sending Shopify to the elimination bracket. Let's see if they can do it here.
Yeah, very aggressive play off the rip there from LastShot, having got that overshield. He wanted to try and force the pace. The FaZe shut it down pretty quickly. 3 dead here for FaZe though. Penguin's going to be last alive, and guess where Royal 2's going? Not very far. Okay, cuts him down.
Penguin hits the body shot, Foul gets the kill. And that might have avoided minutes of pain for them because we've already seen all season long what Royal 2 can do in your spiral with his, actually doesn't matter who's sniper, but if he's in your spiral, it's a problem. And Pznguin and Falcated make sure he can't even get across to the top of the armory.
Shopify flying forward towards the basement.
That is Ryan Noob-esque Sanctuary Halo Reach vibes. A little bit of deja vu there. Just fly at the opponent's base at all costs. We'll figure it out when we get there, but we gotta keep going. Get in.
It's working out for them at the moment. You can see the Penguin's very split on what he has to look at. Frosty finds 2, and now, even with the body onto LastShot, he's got to be so careful. He finds 1 kill, but the sniper rifle now down, and Frosty has that bomb in the base. 3 dead, like you say, for FaZe Clan. Last player alive, who's putting pressure on. It's TriPPPeY who gets the kill. TriPPPeY's still alive, and somehow buying enough time with Pznguin getting off of spawn to keep Shopify at bay. That is a huge play coming in from TriPPPeY.
And what do we say? This was going to be relentless. I think we're going to see a play, but yeah, Bomb's going to be played off the map here. This is going to be down to single 1v1s and single individual efforts from players to stop these arms, and we're already seeing that, of course, in the first 2 minutes of play. 3 dead for FaZe Clan. Foul, your last player alive.
With barely any shields, still outputting damage as well, just dipping and diving around the cover that is closest to him to output damage, and now comes back to try and finish the kill on LastShot. That's a slide away. Overshield goes to Royal 2, though. That's the second one in a row for Shopify Rebellion.
Love that from Royal 2. He's like, not interested in anything happening over here. I'm just going to run the other direction. And he picks up another kill. It's 3 dead again for FaZe Clan. Pznguin with a very important body shot, 2 body shots to take the overshield off. And despite the win of the battle, really it was all about taking down the overshield, and he's already flushed out. I love that's, by the way, Pznguin and Fal again prioritizing that kill.
Shopify pushing this bomb into the base, though. Damage is done on the armory. It's 2 dead. Here for FaZe, the bomb is in the base. Pznguin trying to do what he can to stop this arm going in. The repulse away from Cykul gives him an opportunity to strike here. He's collapsing on these final players. The bomb is being armed by Shopify Rebellion. They get the first arm here, and they will be up by 1.
Wow, what an absolute spree that we just saw on screen, running around from the bottom of the base all the way up to the porch to wrap to the snipe to get that kill as well. It was beautiful routing and beautiful prioritization team shots from Shopify to get the first bomb on the board. And if you're FaZe, this is what you were worried about, because now you're going to see Shopify play their same game here on Fortress, but with an even more comfortable 1 bomb cushion.
And Royal 2 is on your spiral, and he picks up kill after kill. If you let him survive in this position, TriPPPeY comes off spawn, immediately feels the pressure from Royal 2 with just 1 single bandit bullet. But it's enough to keep FaZe pinned in their base here.
So now Royal 2 can sit in your base the whole game without ever having to think about the bomb if he wants to. This is very dangerous, and it will be a very tall task for FaZe to break out of this time and time again.
Falcated has the sniper, though. And he managed to pick up 1 to give FaZe a little bit of room, maybe just to move out across the map. The overshield is coming up pretty soon as well. 15 seconds. And FaZe need to get one of those in their control. They have failed at getting the first 2.
6 seconds, all eyes on bottom mid. Really can determine whether we continue to see Shopify just racking up the kills. 4 dead for Shopify. This will be a clean overshield grab for FaZe, and a push as well.
They need to be aggressive with it. They need to force this one forward. So Presty's going to take his time here, and still with 2 in the death screen. Hasn't got across the map with that bomb. I would have liked to see him just take a little bit of a direct route there to the front of the base like Shopify love to do.
Here comes Suppressed. Overshield's off, however, he's doing a lot of damage. Yep, still 2 dead. Got to get the bomb, though. The bomb was never moved for quite some time, so even though they had forward aggression, they're going to have to slay again. Maybe a bomb repulse here to TriPPPeY. We'll see if he can hit the timing. It goes up right away, but 2 players are already up for Shopify.
Need to get these kills. It's 3 dead again for Shopify. Who's moving to arm that bomb? That's the question here. It's not been the most efficient movement of the bomb. It's not been the most efficient arm coming in, but a double kill coming in from Suppressed, and the last player alive here, trapped on the snipe side. Surely FaZe have got to be in a position to arm this bomb, but nobody has their hands on it yet.
It's staggered.
Finally,
4 dead.
TriPPPeY's going to go for it.
Staggered 4 dead. They had it, but they did not have the timing on the bomb, and in the end, they don't have every piece of the puzzle. That bomb likely had to be moved earlier. It's still 4 dead, by the way. Let's see if they can get this last one on spiral, and they still have control. Now they're trying to start the arm, but 2 players alive on elbow.
I think we go for the arm. It's a second away. Doesn't quite get it. It's still in the zone, though. The fuse is still lit. Cykul from Shopify Rebellion.
Man.
Gets that kill. FaZe have got to do better there. They got to do better in that situation. They had multiple 3, 4, 2 deads, whatever it was. But just slow at moving that objective.
Heartbreaking for FaZe fans to watch that play exactly the way that it did, I agree. And to be honest, they even managed the mistiming initially with a very good bomb repulse toss. I thought TriPPPeY would start arming right away. They slayed 1 more time. And in the end, all they needed was 1 extra second. If one of those kills was recorded faster, as you just saw with the bomb progress, they would have had the arm. However, instead, after 5.5, it's still 1-0 in favor of Shopify. But FaZe indicating they could do the hard work. We'll see if they can finish the arm again.
Love this aggression actually coming in from Falcated there. Just took an off angle. Bullets onto LastShot, who's still alive, by the way. And it's allowed with that bomb down in the courtyard for Shopify to be under pressure. But somehow LastShot, by surviving, has now moved in bottom middle and has collected himself an overshield. A double kill off the back of it. He does get shut down, but that should create an opening for them to get that bomb back to a neutral position.
See what they can do here now. Shopify surprisingly backs against the wall in the series. They're up 1-0. Let's get into a listening with Shopify Rebellion.
Going. One shot on the back. Kill their side, guys. They're owing. Yeah, wait.
Go back to wood.
RBR.
In ring on me. It should be ring, guys. He's 2-on-1.
One spawner.
He's ring one. You play safe quiet.
No, Arbon,
Guys, Arbon.
One shot,
ring.
One's a wing, bro. Yeah, he's trying to find me.
Our flag step on it still. One guy in ring. Two ring. One shot on you. Dude, two in ring. One guy our flag step.
Yo, one ball, guys.
I said one. I see ring.
I don't see ring.
One hit our wing.
One shot. Okay.
One shot on window.
Yo, our snipe is.
Our wing still.
Yo, he's ready in front, jumping up. It's a snipe tower 2, Our tower 2 sniping.
One hit their porch, one hit their flag, no sniper.
He's on the jump, he's on the flat, he's on the low jump.
Yo, guys, one spawner, one hitting no man's left side, I think. Yo, their VR going left,
Two left. Obiga's elbow, he's elbow still. Elbow. Hey, try a little bit.
Yeah, I'm living.
Bomb taken.
You're good, actually.
One on me. One shot. There's two. Absolute bomb guy.
I got it.
Absolute side.
Once again, FaZe are in the base. FaZe have that bomb down, but they cannot get that arm once more. Still inside of the base, though. Falcated, putting pressure onto these respawners. Royal 2 on your screens right now is trying to get angles, and it's managing to do a great job of doing so. He's cleaning out his base and preventing this bomb from being armed.
Yeah, I think a miscommunication there. If the first player's getting dinged from that wing and top ring, then that needs to be a call out there so that Pznguin doesn't get absolutely shredded going forward in front base. But he does. Need to see FaZe making sure that they're all aware on the same page of that positioning, because Pznguin just essentially shredded the entire setup.
That 4 overshields in a row, if I'm not mistaken now, for Shopify Rebellion. That's going to make the game extremely tough if you keep letting them move in to grab that overshield. And a lot, the thing is about Fortress Bomb, like we've seen, you can do 95% of the job, but if you don't do the final 5%, the bomb doesn't get armed. We are seeing that illustrated perfectly here. Unfortunately, here for FaZe.
More kills coming in the back of the base. LastShot's overshield is off. However, he's still alive here with Cykul. We're going to keep the bomb there at minimum, just so it does not reset. 2 dead for FaZe. Here comes LastShot and Shopify up the stairs.
Well, they made the same mistakes here. Pznguin does get the kill. There's a push coming in and a flank coming in on the snipe side here from Cykul. Off the respawn though, Falcated will flush him out. Sniper's about to drop as well. Frosty's grabbing that for Shopify Rebellion. As TriPPPeY is going to move that bomb away. It's actually Falcated who's going to throw that one off the map, you would imagine, and reset it bottom middle. Indeed, that is the case. Sniper's still up here. But Royal 2 is on your spiral.
That's where he lives. He actually, I believe, has squatters' rights to the spiral now, and so the government is officially recognizing that as a legal home for him. Frosty picks up another one as well. That means 3 dead. It's a momentary 2v1 here on the map.
Frosty has the snipe though. And the bomb is in their hands as well. Frosty and Falcated exchanging snipes, and now we'll take a look at each other. Little glint of the light from the end of the S7, seen by both players who decide, you know what, not worth it.
Let's agree to disagree. Go our separate ways here and deal some damage. They haven't looked at each other since, but you can get the feeling that sniper battle is gonna poke its head one more time at least.
Again, FaZe are picking up kills, and they're getting progress on the map, but the bomb is still in their basement. Overshield coming up now. Frosty going to try and be annoying and once again get onto the side. The FaZe really don't want to see him. Overshield's coming up as well, not sure where that went. Frosty's still alive with his sniper rifle, somehow bobbing and weaving. As FaZe find themselves 2 dead again.
And the angle ready, suppressed, walks into the crosshair. That will leave 2 dead for FaZe yet again.
Pznguin. Good news for him is no more sniper ammo for him to worry about, but Frosty's on your tower. Frosty's still hunting. But time now an issue here for FaZe. 1 minute 45 left on the game clock. FaZe need to get that bomb progressed up the map.
Shopify just wants to play continued aggression. They're going to keep running this bomb. Now they're going to look to slay as long as they can. They are 2 dead, however, though. So this position of this bomb will buy them some time. Only 1:30 left on the clock.
Falcated will flush out Royal 2. Bomb is in their base, so they have to go back to collect it. And that allows Shopify to move up to the map, to the halfway point, really pretty much uncontested. I think it's one thing to take away from this game for FaZe so far. Just got to be more aware of that bomb's positioning. When they're picking up kills, they need to keep progressing that objective.
Couldn't agree more. You really need to think of it like ball. You bring it with you as you go.
Dead.
4 dead for Shopify.
4 dead.
FaZe with an opportunity. They need to slay again here for certain, but here they come.
Need to move that bomb forward, though. I'm going to keep saying it until I see it happening. And FaZe start to move it forward. But like you say, they need more kills here. Penguin trying to trap 2 players. He gets 1. Doesn't have any more grenades to play with. Cykul is being a nuisance. Cykul does get that kill onto Penguin, but it's still 2 dead here for Shopify Rebellion. LastShot hits some big shots inside of the base. But where is that bomb for FaZe? They're picking up these kills, but the bomb's still down in the courtyard.
Yeah, once again, that bomb sitting bond still is not going to do them any good. Penguin, I think, by the way, thought he had at least 1 extra nade or a repulse there as he looked to the ground, and essentially nothing happened. In the end, he also loses that 1v1 to Cykul, and like you said, the bomb wasn't even in the base yet. So it hadn't mattered. 20 seconds left. Overshield popping now.
Overshield coming up, and look at the kills. Unfortunately, if you're a FaZe fan, go the way of Shopify Rebellion. That means LastShot gets his 400th Overshield of this game and keeps the pressure on. This is 9 seconds left in the game. And with Shopify controlling the bomb and the Overshield, we're going the distance here. It is a 1-0 victory for Shopify Rebellion. We're going to Streets. We're going to Slayer. We're going to Game 5.
What do we say? Very likely in that matchup that 1 bomb was going to decide it between the 2, and that's exactly what happened. And I think that map played exactly how you would expect based on the series so far. FaZe close in 2 separate instances, but not close enough to get a bomb on the board. And as a result, we will go to a 5th and final Game 5. Slayer between these 2 teams to decide who stays alive. To be honest, I'm pretty excited.
The difference in that game was the efficiency and the control of the bomb, I think, for Shopify Rebellion. You saw once they got a few kills, even if they weren't thinking about planting, they moved that bomb onto the FaZe side of the map. They forced them to turn around. They forced them to take the time, if they get the kills, to retrieve the bomb and bring it back towards mid-map. That allows Shopify to get back on the map, to fight at mid-map. For FaZe, it felt like they would get 3 or 4 dead, look for the 4th kill, try and progress up the map. And this was like, oh, we've forgotten about the bomb.
Right.
Got to do it at the same time.
And then look at the bomb. I agree. Needs to be part of the entire process the whole way. That bomb's at least got to be neutral. You can't have to go back to your own bomb.
Yeah.
To get the bomb. Because it's going to be too late. You're going to have to do, as we saw, too tall of an order. I got to say, though, man, how close was FaZe on that first attempt? They had 3 to 4 dead, I want to say 3 or 4 times in a row. Shopify gets that early arm. Thereafter, it was a lot of FaZe aggression. And they were just a few frames away from the arm. It tells you that if one more thing just went a little bit faster, we would have had the job done.
I think if you were to ask FaZe fans, when the series ends, what's the one thing you don't want to hear? How close was that? They don't care about how close it is. They need to win these kind of series. They've had close games, they've had close series, but they always come out on the losing side of it. The opportunities were there, Andy. They were there for FaZe to plant that bomb.
It's like you said, the overshield control. In a game that ends 1-0, where you had FaZe essentially on the doorstep, moments away from the arm, and then they don't get any of the overshields, could have easily turned the tides. All it would have taken maybe was just 1 or 2 overshields, but instead it's Shopify. Fantastic map management, slaying management, as well as power-up management to close out the game narrowly, 1-0, and send us to a Game 5. And I tell you what, as we've gotten into the later years of Halo Infinite, it has been all about the Game 5s. Like we said, the thinnest of margins between these teams, and now FaZe Clan is showing up in the biggest way this season, telling everyone, hey, we are here to play too. We have been in the lab working on these game types, working on these matchups, and it has brought them now to a 5th and final game with Shopify.
A little update for you, by the way, on the Optic Gaming versus Space Station game that's going on. It's tied up at 1-1 in the series at the moment, and the Strongholds on Livefire essentially a tie game as well. So for the loser of this, you've got to think about both teams, Optic Gaming and Space Station. A Space Station who seems to be finding some sort of form, and an Optic Gaming who are the winner of Major #1 are in that elimination bracket. And this is what I wanted to just highlight to everyone at home. Having got to this point in the series, this Slayer Streets 0-4 the record for Shopify Rebellion. For FaZe, they've only played it once, but it's 100% win rate.
I'll tell you what, if you're a FaZe fan, this is the exact game type you wanted to get to and that you wanted to see in a Game 5. And man, as this, I mean, what's funny is after yesterday's matches, people were coming up to us and saying, man, this is a wild bracket, huh? It's like, oh, we had no idea what Saturday
hold my beer.
Exactly. Saturday said, hold my beer. And we have been holding it for a while because these matches have only gotten crazier. By the way, also got word that SSG was in the lead in that third game. As a reminder, that's somehow on the D stream at twitch.tv/HCS_blue. That's the first time I've had to say that URL out loud.
Well remembered.
And SSG has been confirmed leading in that Strongholds game, so make sure if you have a phone, a tablet, a phablet, make sure you get an extra window open.
An iWatch.
An iWatch, you can listen to it on your iWatch. In pure, once again, 8K analog. As these teams are now locking in, there's a whole lot of Halo to enjoy. Too much for one screen, folks. So make sure you're getting every single stream open. You are watching the biggest 4 teams in the league play against each other and about to knock each other either to the elimination bracket or out of the tournament. In the case of your D stream now, we're back to the main stage. Shopify versus FaZe Clan in a game number 5, and FaZe showing up in the biggest way this season so far, proving that they are in the mix. Can they do the unthinkable and send Shopify to the elimination bracket? That's the question. Only one game remains in the series.
Well, for FaZe, you don't get a better opportunity than this one. 0-4 the record on this map mode combination for Shopify Rebellion. FaZe only played it once, but they won that one opportunity they had to play this game type. And look how slow this start is. 20 seconds already gone. We've just got our first kill.
I was going to say the same exact thing. When's the last time you saw a Street Slayer that started off this slow at this level of professional Halo? This is down to a crawl off the opening. Neither team wanting to be the one to make the mistake.
Val got the camo. Val still alive with the camo as well. Pznguin gets the big kill, and Falcated gets out of the situation with the first power-up. It's a 3-2 advantage here, as it's tied up at 3-3. Val's got to be careful here. It's very aggressive, a ballsy play. I kind of like it, but he gets traded out.
He tries to pull the camo away. He goes front C for a second, and that actually buys them a kill in the ATM. However, as you said, Shopify responded to the camo very, very well. And now, just like that, we're tied up 5-5.
There's going to be some really, really big 1v1s in this Street Slayer. And Falcated is winning one himself against LastShot. 3 players stacked on the pink street here for FaZe. Royal 2 trying to rotate and wait for a little bit of support to come in from LastShot. And now they're going to try and pitch. Damage is there. Royal 2 finds one. Royal 2 plays off of that damage beautifully. Fal has to back up here, having got one himself, and survive, which is exactly what he does.
Really well done there by Shopify. That 3-man push-up cafe, they pick off those kills one by one to keep the game now tied at 9.
Okay, gets out of that situation, by the way, with a trade. It's 2 dead here for Shopify Rebellion. Cykul trying to find a way to tie up those numbers. Does alongside LastShot. FaZe trapped inside of this base. LastShot actually gets the beat down onto Suppressed as well to give them a lead. They create a 4v3 on the map just as that camo's going up.
Big camo here. We've been tied the entire game so far. See if a team can establish a lead here off of the hold, or maybe force the burn from the other side.
Well, 2 dead here for Shopify Rebellion. You can see that all that Cykul wants to do is burn the camo, but it's Fal alongside a teammate who double push towards that camo. They get it in their hands. It's 3 dead and a lead change. Another kill comes in. A double kill and a killing spree for Falcated.
What a play there for Fal. Unbelievable. Also to delay the camo pop, right? He fights that battle at Laundry first, and they pick up another set of kills, 18-14 now.
They get a little bit cycled here, Shopify Rebellion. They're getting split across the map. You can see the FaZe are more than happy to try and push in on this. Pznguin gets another one here. This will be an easy kill for Falcated. It's 3 dead again for Shopify Rebellion.
Back to back to back 3 deads. Now a 7-kill lead, 22-14. Let's get into a listening here with FaZe Clan.
Mike, I'm coming.
Nice, Mike.
One there. Ivy weak, Ivy.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Yeah, did
Nice,
that.
nice.
Go.
2-2.
If we spawn here,
Welcome
red
back.
gun, check it.
Check
if we
red
spawn
gun
here.
and everything. Literally everything.
Repost it up.
Yo, P1, kill P1, kill P1, guys, kill P1.
Yeah, shot. He's not shotting.
And tires in a
Shot
second.
ATM. One shot in ATM. Kill this guy.
Cycle's
Tires, guys, running away, tires. I'll be tires, two of them on me.
Red room for soccer. Yo, Flowers going dead end weak. Dead. Yo, they
Tires, I think.
have soccer.
Two
2-shot red room.
Flash Joey. Flash.
I'm here, Mike.
Sorry to think.
There's a guy with
Yo,
stock right
Drop
there.
down, Mike, drop down.
Yeah.
Yo,
Cafe. Cafe's weak, guys. He's stuck.
Still stuck cafe on the bandit. One tires.
Tires,
Two guys cafe.
Dead.
Top tower weak. 2-shot top tower.
Yeah, PD, kill
2-shot tower,
PD.
sirs.
120, guys.
Back tower. Back up, Donnie. Back up. You're alone, Donnie. Back up.
You're alone. Tires, going laundry.
Donnie,
And
aimbot,
one
aimbot,
out, mark
aimbot.
it. Yo, dead. Yeah, aimbot.
15. Livers for
Bomb
kids.
tower weak. Bomb tower really weak.
Aimbot that, guys. Aimbot that, guys.
Camo on 10.
Did we come a trash? I'm gonna clear trash.
Yo, B-roll. With a weak pillar, tires.
I'm clearing my B-roll. I'm clearing my
Tires, one
trash.
shot. Tires, one shot.
I'm on the B-shares. I'm on the
Nice, good
B-shares.
Agent half. This guy back A.
Both weak.
Both one shot on me.
Two one shots.
I came on.
Nice, Mike.
Yo, fight this in now. I'm looking at you. Okay.
Okay. I died to stalker.
Tires, guys,
Stalker.
tires.
We have camo? Alright, make a play with camo.
Guys, look at me, look at me.
I mean,
Wait. Cafe weak.
Okay, you
Back
just
up,
live.
back up.
Okay, I'm gonna go main
I'm red room. I'm hiding B.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
going
hiding
main
B.
guys. You guys want to fight purple together?
I'm out of arcade,
fight
guys.
left.
I'm arcade.
I'm trying to
Look
go.
at shotty window. I'm
I'm
shotting
fighting left. I'm
arcade.
fighting left here.
Okay.
Yo, heaven. Look heaven. Look heaven's in. Look heaven's in.
Try
Twice.
Two one
shots.
Agent.
I don't see him.
Went top A, went top A.
Dead.
Frosty.
I mean, weak stop back A. Weak back A. He's two shot back
His
A.
repulse.
Yeah, repulse in soccer. Live now. Live.
Look behind you.
You're good. On
One shot,
Mike.
Mike,
One shot on Mike.
He's stuck.
Hey, another one there.
Nice. Shotty, I'm shotty. Hit him once.
I need
P1 weak.
I need a P1. I need a P1. ATM absolute. He was one shot.
ATM stuck.
Bottom C still.
ATM stuck. One dead.
One shot. Just up
Living,
as well.
I'm stuck,
You're
I'm stuck.
using.
They're gonna be B now. They're gonna be B, maybe.
Go be together. Go be. Careful, Donnie. Tommy's aping. Donnie, look at you. Donnie, you're in a good spot. Don't move.
C-Balk weak.
Arcade
C-Balk weak. 2 shots C-Balk.
T-Bob's in. Donnie,
Dead.
where?
C-Balk weak.
B steps in the arcade. B steps
C-Balk dead. I hear B-steps. I hit him twice, Jay. Dead.
Nice. Arcade, somewhere probably arcade.
Yeah, be on me.
I'm here.
On me.
He's weak. Back to you, Donnie. Back to you.
What a run from this man on your screen right now. Pznguin is 8 and 7, but he's already in double digits for assists as well. Every single member of Shopify Rebellion knows what it feels like to be shot by the bandit of this man.
I'm so impressed with this run, as you said, from FaZe 38 to 28 now. They've extended this lead to 10 in a game number 5 against one of the tournament favorites. What a run. Camo control, comms, everything has been perfect from this team.
Frosty gets one, LastShot gets one. This might be an opportunity and an opening for Shopify Rebellion. 7 kills, the difference between the two teams, but what feels like, for the first time in quite some time, FaZe on the back foot momentarily. Camo coming up, and it's been all FaZe when it comes to that power-up, Andy.
Falcated earlier, by the way, was 12 and 3, quadruple positive. He's now 13 and 7, still an amazing performance so far. TriPPPeY matching him almost exactly with the stat line. An 8-kill lead here for FaZe in the home stretch.
Camo gets picked up, though, on the side of Shopify Rebellion, but it was LastShot who had it. A LastShot who gets taken down, so the Camo is neutralized. No. But Cykul, it was LastShot who didn't pop it. Cykul will get it here for Shopify Rebellion.
This could be absolutely huge. Not over yet. 36 to 41, and what was just a 10-kill lead is now just a 5-kill lead here. And FaZe Clan might have thought that the work was done. But more Halo to play here. 42-37.
Oh, it's a big 1v1 for Suppress to win there. Royal 2 cleans up Pznguin. And it's now a 5-kill game. If Suppress doesn't win that one, we could see all of FaZe spawning together. Royal 2 wins the fight. He's on a killing spree. He's coming to life when it really matters, but he gets traded out as well. 2v2 on the map here as TriPPPeY tries to survive.
Knows he needs to stay alive. Shields come back just in time. He trades with Cykul. 46 to 41. 4 kills to go for FaZe. So much pressure against Shopify and their winners bracket life on the line here.
That's at a premium here for Shopify Rebellion. They can't afford them. Just 4 kills to go here for FaZe to knock Shopify Rebellion, our finalists from the Arlington Major, the first event of the year, down to the elimination bracket, and to prove that they are a roster that can win championships here. Suppress trying to be aggressive, Frosty taking some damage.
And this looks strikingly similar to the opening of the game, doesn't it? Everything slows all the way down. Might not even come down to the last camo. 47-43.
TriPPPeY gets one to inch FaZe Clan even closer. TriPPPeY will find a second on the Royal 2 as well. It's just 2 to go here for FaZe. Camo coming up, but I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of time here. FaZe are going to play for trades around this camo. They have to.
Shopify needs some, if they want to play this camo, they need to make sure they get the kills around it first. They can't even forfeit 1 or 2 kills here.
LastShot's gonna grab it.
That's a free grab for them because FaZe could not afford to get into that mix. They could not allow it. LastShot game in his hands. A little bit of deja vu with this camo play on plants.
Oh, this is a nervy moment. Who do you shoot? Falcated's gonna be the choice. Stays alive most importantly here. Pznguin trying to chase that kill down. Broil 2 finds one. Cykul finds another. Suppress gets a kill though, but he's last alive. He's last alive. He goes down as well.
Oh.
Everyone for FaZe in the death screen.
Unbelievable.
But they only need one.
They bring it back. Cykul trying to stay alive in a 1v1 versus Falcated. He wins it 49-48.
What an unbelievable end to this game 5 we are seeing.
There's no way.
Stalker rifle in their hands.
LastShot all alone. He's all alone.
He gets taken down. Pznguin gets the kill. FaZe send Shopify Rebellion down to the elimination bracket and book their spot in the winners bracket finals.
An unbelievable ending to that series. Somehow Shopify brings it back from a 10-kill deficit to a 1-kill game, and LastShot is left alone on an island at tower and gets flushed out. What was almost disaster for FaZe Clan instead ends up with an upset against Shopify Rebellion to send them now to the elimination bracket as well.
I think I remember reading on a website that I like to mention, I don't want this, I can't remember who said it, was a community member. I don't want this to be a 2-horse race all season long.
You've got your wish.
If you're tuning in and you are seeing what has happened, this is no longer a 2-horse race.
This really does change the entire, this changes the optics of the league in such a big way. 50-48 is your game 5 score somehow. Mind you, by the way, it was 38-28 before we got there.
Big game trip. 18-10 in a game 5 from TriPPPeY. And even though Royal 2 did everything he could with 19 on the board, it's FaZe who clutch up. I'm a little bit shocked, like genuinely, like a little bit lost for words about what we are seeing happening here in our second event of the year.
Yeah, this, I mean, you really can't overstate just how big of a win this was for FaZe Clan and what it means for their season. Honestly, what it means, as you said, for the tightness of the league,